Hello everyone, welcome to another time-lapse tutorial video. In today's video, I'm going to draw my baby daughter Tiffany's soft toys. So these are the various soft toys that I have bought for her. They are very vibrant, very colorful. So today I'm going to use pencil and watercolor to sketch these soft toys. This video is actually the condensed version of the full-length tutorial that I have prepared for my patrons supporters. So if you want to check out the full tutorial, you can support me on Patreon. Patreon is a monthly subscription service where you can pledge a certain dollar amount to support the artists that you like. So with your support, that's how I make all these videos, the reviews that you see on my YouTube channel. For this sketch, I'm drawing on the Stillman Birn Beta series sketchbook, which has thick paper, and this is good enough for watercolor. So I've decided to use pencil instead of pen and ink because pencils, the lines, the graphite, it's softer and it has a much nicer feel when it comes to drawing subjects like this, subjects like soft toys. So I'm basically drawing the head first. I have already mapped out the proportion to fit this soft toy onto the page to make sure that I have enough space to draw this whole soft toy. And for this particular lion, I am drawing it big. For the other soft toys, I will be drawing them small. I'm drawing this big because this particular soft toy has a lot more details compared to the other soft toys. The other reason is try to vary the sizes of subjects on your page. So sometimes you can draw big, with some subjects you can draw small. This would make your sketch more interesting. If you are going to draw them all at the same sizes, it's going to look a bit repetitive, so that's not going to be too interesting. So you can see with this rainbow soft toy doesn't have a lot of details, so I can draw it small. And this donut bear with a hole in the stomach, I can draw it small as well because it doesn't have that much details. Drawing is really fun. When you know the fundamentals of drawing, you can draw any subject. So for this sketch, I actually wanted to have something to look back at maybe 10 or 20 years later. I want to show this sketch to Tiffany and see how she reacts to the soft toys she once played with. It'll be quite fun to watch her reaction years later. So now I'm drawing the duck. Notice that the colors for all these soft toys, they are quite bright, very vibrant. There are a lot of yellows, orange. For this rabbit, it's yellow and pink. So there are a lot of primary colors, yellow, blues, and reds. Secondary colors, the purples, the greens, and the orange. Since I'm using pencil for this sketch, later on when the sketch is completed, I need to spray fixative over the pencil and the watercolor in order to protect the sketch. That's because in a sketchbook like this, the pencils, the graphite, they will go onto the opposite page. And this is not good, obviously, so you have to get a can of fixative to spray to protect the graphite. So with this rabbit, I am drawing it a bit larger as well to get all the details in. And now let's draw the other subjects. The mango, I'm not sure what that is. I think it's a mango. And the other one is a white rabbit. Now this rabbit compared to the one on the left side has less details. So it's very simple to draw. Drawing soft toys like this is actually quite simple because when you show this sketch to other people, they have no idea how the soft toys will look like, so they have no basis of comparison. Anything you show them will look sort of right. This is very different compared to drawing people, drawing human figures, drawing architecture, buildings, because people have in their mind what a person would look like, how a person can look like. So they will have this comparison that's going on in their mind. But when you show them something that they have not seen before, they cannot compare because they have no basis of comparison. Alright, so now I am coloring the sketch with Hansa yellow medium. I try to use the lighter colors first, so usually I start with the yellows and then move on to the reds and then the blues. Basically, I work my way around the color wheel. Start with the primary colors and then mix the secondary colors. As I'm painting, I realized that I have forgotten to draw some details, so I need to add those in. And notice that for this particular sketch, I tried to close up all the lines. I'm drawing in a style that is quite similar to a coloring book where all the lines, they are closed up. So when I'm coloring, I'm just coloring within those lines. So for the orange, I am mixing that with Hansa yellow medium and a warm red. And for this lion's mane, it's mostly red. I think it's pyro scarlet, if I'm not wrong. So I'm just painting the reds and oranges. For the rabbit, there are some polka dots on one of the ears. So you need a very sharp brush, a brush with a very sharp tip in order to paint some of the details, because you need to reach inside those tiny areas. For the pink of the rabbit, I'm using a cool red mixed with a lot of water to get that pink shade. And now I am using blue. So the blue that I'm using is phthalo blue. Just painting all the blues in the sketch. After blue, it would be green, and after that, it would be purples and violets. By the way, I have an online course on color mixing. It's available on Gumroad. You might want to check it out if you have problems mixing vibrant colors. But generally speaking, to mix vibrant colors, you should probably limit yourself to a limited palette. That would be quite important, because if you use too many colors and mix them up, you can get a muddy mix pretty quickly. The second point is to study the color wheel. So if you want to mix a vibrant orange, use colors that are already quite close to the orange. For example, in this particular case, I use new gumbosh and a warm red to mix a vibrant orange. The next color I want to mix is brown. So for the brown, I am mixing new gumbosh and a little bit of phthalo blue. Now, if you are not confident with mixing color, one tip is to have a scrap piece of paper just beside, so that you can test out the mixes before you actually apply onto the paper. I think that would really help a lot, rather than you just mix the colors on the palette and then apply it onto the paper only to find out that, oh no, you have mixed the wrong color. So it's good to have a scrap piece of paper beside to test out the colors first. Now for the blacks, I'm using phthalo blue and pyro scarlet. The combination of paint is, well, I use a lot of phthalo blue and a little bit of pyro scarlet. That's how I managed to get the really dark blacks. For the finishing touches, I'm using the white gel pen and other ink pens to add in some more details that would be very difficult for me to paint with watercolor. So I'm not really strict on just using watercolor. Some people, they like to use watercolor alone without any other medium, but for me, I just like to mix and match. I don't really have any rules or restriction. I think the main point is to just have fun when you're making art. You don't have to give yourself those restrictions. Although sometimes you may want to do so just to challenge yourself. The last part of this sketch is to paint the shadows. For the shadows, I have used a mixture of ultramarine and burnt sienna. I have more ultramarine than burnt sienna, so you can see the blue shade of shadow. I try not to use too much burnt sienna, if not, it's going to make the shadows a bit too gray. And also when I'm painting, I try to paint the shadows with one stroke. I try not to go over the shadows over and over again. It's going to make the shadow a bit muddy. So when you paint with one stroke, it's going to make that stroke more, how should I say, more spontaneous. So this is the completed sketch with pencil and watercolor. So after adding the shadows, the soft toys now have more dimension, they have more volume. The shadows let people know that what you're drawing has volume, has a three-dimensionality to it. Alright, so that's all for my tutorial today. If you have any questions, let me know in the comment section below. If you want to support the work that I do on my YouTube channel, you can support me on my Patreon page or check out some of my art courses that I'm selling on Gumroad. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video. Bye.